So here's my graphic objects class that deals with the texture. It has a fixed sized array of pointers for textures. That's based off 4 for the max number of meshes we can currently split. You can either set a texture at the specific mesh number or everywhere the same texture. The render function just goes through each mesh and sets its texture and renders it. The application code just creates the graphic objects and sets the specific textures. There's 4 of them here at the specific mesh. There's 4 different textures in each one. So just 4 mesh parts and they all have a different texture. The lighting, it has a material array instead. And then system material, again, either the specific mesh number or everywhere the same one. Then render goes through all the meshes, sets their materials, and then renders them. So now instead there's different materials here at specific mesh numbers. There's 4 different meshes and they all have a different material. The texture lighting, now it has both materials and texture arrays. So same again, functions here for setting both material and textures. And then the render function sets material and texture now instead of just either one. And the application code sets materials and textures for all the specific mesh numbers. So now there's a proper material lighting and texturing for the model at each mesh part. With further work, this actually might also be number 4. Otherwise, number 4 I did in all the other ones by just having them all go through each everything on a per mesh basis. But it might also be the further work. So I did the further work by changing the graphic objects. Now it works on a per mesh basis by it has to take a mesh number, and none of the derived classes work on arrays anymore. So now this only has like a vector, one vector. The color light only has one material, and texture also has only one texture. So this works because if the meshes are supposed to have capable of having different shaders, it no longer makes sense to have them work on a model basis. So like for example here, I changed the the set model takes in a mesh number, so we can set it, and then the render function takes in a shader here, and it will downcast it to specific shader. So this works by, and here, so now it only renders a specific mesh number using only the specific mesh colors, no more arrays here. Here downcast the shader to get a specific one. And this is necessary because how I ended up getting this to work was, here's like a map, for example, has shader bases, and it has vectors of graphic object bases. And here it creates all the different types of shaders, and then here are all the specific kind of graphic objects, and then it adds the shaders to the map, and then it adds the specific graphic objects that we use those, but they need to be at the base level for this to work. And then in the draw call, updates all the view and projection matrices, and here it takes all the base shaders, and then all the graphic objects that use those shaders take that base shader into the render function, and then we'll downcast it to the specific shader and give it all the appropriate graphic object properties that are associated with the specific type of shader. So this here went to the color one, and it'll downcast to set the color, and now this works. So now there's no lighting here, but there's a color, there's material lighting, there's a texture here, and there's also material, texture and material, and then the windows are only just textured. So this also might this probably solves number 4 for me. If this was number 4 was to like separate things on a per mesh basis, or I already had number 4 done from the 1 to 3.